Yeah.
Hello. Yeah, saw it. Yeah, it's pretty good. I still think it needs a bit of an intro at the beginning though. Just to say, coming up in the video, we've got the basics on trimming out the plastic, building a piece of armour, the tools that we use for it. Oh, and also a link to go underneath the video so that we can see if anybody wants to buy a suit of armour at a special price and then build the armour in the next few weeks as we start vlogging about all the different bits of armour, how to build them. Yeah, then there's a part about dressing the Boba Fett, how it all layers up, how to put it on. Yeah, we always say subscribe, like the video and turn on notifications. Yeah, I know, no. Your mum is.
Am I just going?
Yeah.
Before we start building anything, we need to go through the basics of what you're going to need in your toolbox. Start with, these are in no particular order, the drill. I don't know why when you pick a drill up you have to do that. You have to. Various drill bit, you're certainly going to need a 2.5, 3mm, 4mm. Clips, for that extra pair of hands. Magnets, help me hold things together. Knife. Sandpaper, you're definitely going to need this. 80s and 120 grit. Did I hold them long enough? Knocking stick, rivet gun, gaffer's tape. We use white because we can. Countersink of some sort. We have this concoction. Pencil. Tape measure. One of these fabric ones are great for taking measurements of yourself. Glue and super glue with an activator. Screwdrivers, certainly need a little flathead one for the torso screws. I think we're going to use this one for smashing rivets later on with the knocking stick. Hole punch, lighter. That's not for a crafty smoke. Shears. If you've not used these before, we're going to talk a little bit more about these as we get into the builds. Definitely recommend those. Scissors, pliers, masking tape, painter's tape, steel rule or some sort of straight edge. I would recommend making one of these when you get your kit. Just a 12mm template cut from ABS. And the old faithful Dremel with flexi shafts makes life a hell of a lot easier. On this, we're definitely going to use the cutting disc and the sanding bob. They're the basics. Right, okay, so welcome to the first build. It's only a video we've been threatening to do for some 7 years. Probably the most straightforward piece, the bicep. There's pretty much no way you can get this wrong. It's like famous last word. Really what we're demonstrating here is cutting the plastic and getting used to it. I'll mark it first of all and then we'll get on with it. So this build is all going to be to original size. When it comes time to do like a bigger bicep, if you're a bigger guy or girl, then we're going to cover that a bit later on. We've got some little tricks that we can achieve. Okay, so around the top of the bicep, original size is about 185. So I'm just going to mark that. And then around the bottom is 160. So we've basically got center point again right in the middle there. That's it. Okay, the template that we were going to cut is not really used on this one, but I'm just going to use it because I can fit it in here easier than I can fit the ruler in. So I'm pretty much just drawing a line down where I want to cut this, where I want to trim it. So this is, when we talked about the 12mm template, I'm not really going to use it on this piece, so we'll have to come to this later. I'm just going to use it to mark this line here, which my ruler won't fit in there because of this piece here. Clip, as I haven't got a free hand spare. Okay, so this side is now marked up, both sides. As I look at this, I can see the shape of the original bicep in the vac forming running through. This is extra that we put on to make sure that we get the full depth that we need. So I can see that it's lining through to the original size. This is the right bicep, by the way. Okay, so now I'm going to go in on the inner, and we've got 180 across the highest point, which is this ridge, about 180 on there and 160 across the bottom. So this one's a little bit more difficult to pick your center point, but okay, so I've got my two halves marked out. If you're building this to fit you, what I would recommend is just trimming all this flashing off first of all, and then just test fitting it. A couple of little tips when you're using the shears. When you're using this area of the shear, down here, you can just cut nicely. If you start cutting right through so that you're on the tip, as you cut right through to the tip, you can create like a little run or a split. We don't want that, so avoid going right through to the end. Also, I'm taking a little notch off there so I can get in there where I want it, rather than cutting across the formed area, because again, that can create a split. Okay, let's go on this side. Right, okay, my shears aren't going to get in there, so I'm just going to use the Dremel. This is the Dremel 4000. Now there's a couple of other schools of thought about this as well, because you're probably going to want this looking really nice, whereas on the originals it's a mess inside and it's just covered over with a cover strip, so it doesn't have to be all pretty and a perfect join. Okay, so now I've got two parts that I can offer up together. One thing to know, I know we're not on the thighs yet, but when you start putting these pieces around your body and you're wearing your jeans in your workshop, it's totally different than wearing the undersuit, so I'll recap on that. Anyway, that's where we are. I've still got quite a bit to trim out at the bottom. So I'm offering it up here, and we've got a little bit extra sticking out the top here. Over the years we've had people sort of doing this and lining it up at the top and not the bottom. And in fact we've done a little bit of work on this to make it line through better. So if you get that as nice as you can. The original one really doesn't line through too good at all. We're going to line through the bottom. A couple of reasons for that. One, the bottom is always on show and the top is hidden. But what I would do is if you're building it, try it on, trim it out, try it on. I mean, I know this one fits, but there's still quite a lot of the return to take out here. So you would take this out, keep trying it on, make sure you're happy with the fit, and then you can always trim evenly away on the side. When the cover strip goes on, there's a gap there, it's going to cover that gap. If you want to be really, can I say the word anal about it, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have it join in there, and I'm just going to mark a line down there. So now I can see if I just trim this section off, I'm going to get the two pieces perfectly joined together. Okay, that's how you would get these two sides to run through almost perfectly. I mean, you could go at this all day if you really wanted to, but I'm going to cut this at 12mm. But before I do, I'm going to start with a nice straight edge. Okay, if it helps you, you can score the first one without putting too much pressure on. Build the pressure up a bit. Okay, so I've got a nice straight edge now that I'm happy with. So if you score it rather than try and cut it, be sure to use the correct side, because what was it, Pete? One side is shit and one side is and that's got a nice finish which matches the pull. Okay, so we're at this stage. This is still attached now loosely. I've not gone right the way through to snap it off. I'm just going to fold it over, put it back down on here, just repeat that before this is off. I don't need to measure it again. Now it's just a case of offering these up, make sure I'm on the good side, which I am there. But if you look at them, you can clearly see one side's nicer. Not glossy or anything, just nicer. So I'll clip that up. On this side, I'm just marking where it runs through. And this is just basically I'm eyeballing it so that it's in the centre of both pieces. When it comes to putting the glue on, it's definitely a case of less is more. I know everyone's waiting and watching and hoping that I get this all wrong, but don't worry. we didn't show those 5. We're not going to get anywhere looking at it. I'm just going to apply a little bit more glue there. Small amount, less is more. We don't like to use a lot of glue, do we? I'm kind of rushing it. I'm going to deal with the bottom first. Okay, so there we are. We kind of trimmed out. We've got the cover strips on. This one's still setting. I'll just come round again. Oh, wait a second. So at this stage now, all we're left with is removing this excess area, top and bottom. And when you're going at this now, you're also kind of adding a bit of shaping as well. You'll see what I mean as we go. So for this, we're back to the old Dremel 4000. There she is. A beautiful bicep, save for a few pencil marks that need removing. Obviously we've not added the elastic yet. That'll come when we've got the forearm ready. But that's it.
Yeah. Thank you for watching. So next time we're going to do a few more builds. We'll be answering some of your questions. You still have time to enter the Colin Michael Kitchens helmet giveaway. The link is below. We are also, what's the other bit? No. So like, subscribe, turn on the notifications. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and for our YouTube followers we'll be doing a special armour kit which will be at a reduced rate. So you can come along and build it with us as we do it with our tutorials. The link is below. See you later.